Hey, beautiful people, citizens of the world. I'm Dr. Robyn, founder and visionary of International Shades of Beauty, where we give everything beauty, all things beauty. And today I am so honored to be speaking with one of the founders of Behind the Scenes Agency, Miss Jodi K. Edwards. I'm so excited. Welcome, Jodi.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited too.
So Behind the Scenes Agency, tell us about that. What is Behind the Scenes Agency?
Oh my gosh, Behind the Scenes Agency is a media and marketing company that actually came together. My business partner and I decided to mesh our businesses. We still have them going on separately, and give our clients like the ultimate experience. So my background is in marketing. I dabbled a little bit in photography just for myself as an influencer, and then learned a little bit when I was on set doing TV and movies and modeling and acting and things like that. And then she does the actual photography part of it. So that was like really great for me and my personal brand, and our friendship kind of just started with like her helping me create content as a content creator, so I didn't have to do my tripod and run back and figure out lighting for myself. And so I was like, hey, this is a really, really amazing thing. We can come together and help small business owners and entrepreneurs and content creators really capture their story and really tell their story, and I can help them put the marketing behind it with intentional branding.
I love it. So it's no secret. I'm gonna let y'all in on something. I am so honored to have Behind the Scenes Agency working with me and my brand and just taking it to a whole another level. So I'm excited about that. So let's talk about that. Your approach to working with new clients. How do you approach that? How do you get their story out and figure out the best way to market them? And
yes, it always starts with personal authenticity. That's one of our pillars. So we really have to take a look at the individual and how can we bring that out. Branding is so much more, it's so cliche, you hear it everywhere, more than just a logo, but when you hear the word brand, people think like, oh, I don't need one, right? But in all reality, branding is like the soul of your business. So if you don't have a brand, you're not really as memorable. Like you as an individual may be memorable, but it's almost like, what does Jodi K. Edwards stand for? What does Behind the Scenes Agency stand for? And when those things stand alone, it's okay, but it's more like impactful. When you think of soda, what's the first brand that pops into your mind?
Coca-Cola.
I was literally thinking Coca-Cola too. Is that weird? I was like, Coke or Pepsi? But I already knew it was going to be Coke or Pepsi, right? Because they have such strong branding. Even with that being like a beverage company, if you go to their website, you're going to see like their value proposition statement, which is essentially like, what do we stand for? Who do we stand for? What do we want? And then people get behind that mission. So it's a lot easier for you to be memorable, and that's really how we generate sales. Now, when we attach a brand to a business, now it's a lot easier for people to remember your business and you can generate sales. So it's so important if you want to get away from the word of mouth model, if you want to get away from the like whole marketing model, curating an intentional brand that's an extension of you and attaching it to your business really helps you to stand out in the market. And my whole thing is helping you get seen and get paid. So the first step really that we take our clients through is just really help understanding their story and how can we infuse their personal story. Of course, you know how important that is.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
such a phenomenal interviewer. So pulling that into their marketing, and then later down the road, it's like, well, how can we, really infuse their thought process and their message into the visual identity of their brand. And a lot of people skip this part and just go, that's where they're like, I'm just gonna get a website, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we like to help elevate. So when it's ready to go to the next level and really, really like take that mission and have that impact and income that we're looking for, our agency really helps you like infuse the two with the intentional, messaging. And of course, then we can go to the media side. How are we going to shoot this video for you? How are we going to have this photo shoot? What images are going to help people see and carry your own messaging, through that?
So how do you know your strategy's working?
Oh my gosh. So my business partner would say I'm super humble. So now you're forcing me to talk about my client wins and client success. So I have worked with 8-figure brands, 6-figure brands, brands who are just starting out. I've worked with artists and celebrities and influencers. I've worked with small business owners, large companies, and they all have one thing in common, which is the clarity. And so the biggest thing for me is I'm not successful until my clients are essentially successful. So I really base my success on the fact that I am working full time for myself. I am overbooked. I really don't even have space for one-on-one clients right now. I get hired to speak. I get invites all the time. So it's like my brand is getting out there without me really even having to like push it as much. And so I'm like, wow, like you are your first, right? You're your first client, you're your first customer.
That's right.
So it's really cool to see how well my brand is working for me. And then I get to see the success in my clients. And of course, when we add like a monetary value, you know, it's really cool to see people like pull in like those 6-figure months, or, you know, wherever you're in your journey, maybe it's a 6-figure year. But heck, even if it's going from $0 to $500 a month, we did something. So we see incremental growth in all these different metrics, but the most important growth metric is the one that matters to that brand or that company or that individual.
Right. So let's talk about marketing. I know a lot in branding, people get the two confused. They interchange the words branding and marketing. So what's the difference between branding and marketing?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, when it comes to marketing, it's really like you putting it out there, and there's different channels and ways to do that. When it comes to branding, like I said, branding is like the personality of it. So if you're just posting on social media and you don't have an intentional message that's going to move people towards the buying decision or get them started on like the buyer's journey, you kind of have a business that is just being marketed. But we see businesses all over. We interact with hundreds of businesses a day. I'm sure we don't even know, especially if we listen to the radio and watch TV, or even if you're just, you know, scrolling on Instagram. So I would say my personal definition of it is, again, like the brand is the soul of your business. It's really like pushing, it's really pushing that message for you, and the marketing is you like almost, I would say like telling it, but you're pushing it through these different channels. But what are you pushing? So the brand, you have to have a solid brand first to know like this is how I'm going to do it, and this is what I'm doing to get it out there.
Awesome. So with marketing, of course, there's different platforms now that you can use. Do you stick to one, or based on the client, do you suggest multiple platforms? You know, some people just strictly do cold calls. You know, there are those that will do cold calls and they do email and social media. So how do you approach marketing when you work with the client?
Yeah, it's really, again, that authenticity. So where do you feel the most comfortable showing up before we expand? My approach is to have this almost like omnipresence. So if you're building like the SEO, search engine optimization for your brand name, well, where can we start? So a lot of people might think, well, Instagram, but there's a lot of successful brands out there without an Instagram, right? Because maybe their thing is Pinterest marketing. It might be B2B or B2C. There's LinkedIn, depending on your industry. Instagram is like not the only go-to. So if you want to expand your reach, I always start with like where your ideal clients and customers are, and you're building up your brand and your brand reputation and brand awareness all on that platform before you add in an additional platform. Because if you can't really be well known on one platform, it's hard to grow. And so for me, I am on pretty much all the platforms, but what people fail to realize is that it didn't start out that way. I actually started out with just my website and blogging. And so then from blogging, I went to Instagram. And then Instagram, I went to Facebook groups. And my Facebook group was what helped me reach my first 6 figures. And then now with TikTok and things like that, it's so easy for me to just like pivot because I already have, you know, that momentum going.